Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Jenny. Today I'm going to go over my journal ecosystem with you guys. If you can't tell, my window is open and it's a little windy, so I'm going to use my mic. Hopefully you guys can hear me well enough. I took off my acrylics yesterday and my nails are barren, so don't judge. So for my journals, I have 5 different journals that I use on a daily basis, so I'm going to go over each one with you guys. Before we get into everything, I just want to preface that I've been journaling consistently for only 4 years now. I have been journaling my whole life, but I've only just started sitting down to actually journal 4 years ago. I do have all of my old journals. Let me show you really quick. So this is the first journal that I used consistently. I started this in 2022 during my freshman year of college. It's very pretty. This is from Daiso in Korea. I got it with this one too. When I first started journaling, it wasn't really a creative outlet for me. It was more of a relief for mental health or when I'm feeling sad. I wrote down a lot of my feelings just to try and get a grip of everything because I wasn't sure what I was feeling. I didn't know what was happening to me. And writing my feelings down kind of allowed me to organize my thoughts and look at them on paper instead of being confused in my head all the time. For the first 6 months or so, I'd say it was more of write something down when you're sad so you know why. But I realized that I really liked journaling, so I wanted to switch that up. I didn't want it to be just a sad activity. I wanted it to be something that I did every day. So once I realized that, I tried to write down different things, such as what I did in a day, what made me happy. I also found it very helpful to look up prompts on TikTok, Pinterest, Instagram, wherever you want to look. The prompts were usually reflective questions, so it would be things about your childhood, your parents, your family. It really made me think for the first time about how I was raised and how I thought. I still use journal prompts every day, but a lot of the times I will write when I feel like it or when I have to work something out. So let me get into all of my different journals. So this is the first journal. This is my personal and I'd say my main journal, the one that I use the most. This is a Midori, I believe it's an A5 or B5, I'm not quite sure, but it's like the size of my hand. I got the set that comes with the journal and this plastic cover. I just used a couple different stickers to decorate it, as well as this one that I printed out. So just to go over a couple things, I'm not going to show you guys too much, but this is the first page. I like to decorate my journal creatively because it is my personal journal and I want to like looking at it for me to be able to reach for it. So this is my me page that I did on the first cover. Right here is a letter that I wrote to myself on the first day of this year, and I'm supposed to open it on the last day of this year. I also included a foreword, my 2025 and 2026 outs and ins, my 2026 media list, which is just movies or shows that I want to watch this year. I've only done this twice now. I did it last year and this year. This is basically a vision board, but I printed out pictures from Pinterest and then made my own board. This might be one of my favorite things to do in the beginning of the year. Let me show you guys my May journal prompts. These are my May journal prompts. As I said, I do a question or prompt every single day, and sometimes I won't journal every single day. I'll skip a day, come back in 2 days, 3 days, whenever you feel like it. I feel is the best time to write. For my personal journal, I would write my feelings, my prompts, and if I'm feeling stressed, brain dumps. I also found that it's easier if you don't pressure yourself to write every single day. I think the worst thing you can do to yourself when journaling, at least for me, is making it into a task instead of a hobby or an outlet. So I will skip a day or two and I try not to stress about it because you can always come back. It will always be there for when you're ready to write. So this is my personal journal and this is probably my favorite one out of all of them. The second journal is a Leuchtturm green soft cover. I think this is the B5 and the other one was an A5. Originally, I bought this as my commonplace journal just to write my thoughts, random things that I learned, mostly just to keep everywhere and write anything in. This I've also decorated with some stickers that I printed out and just random ones that I found. I really like that these journals have like the elastic band because it keeps it all together. In here I have random facts that I researched, keeping track of some expenses, planning trips that haven't happened, and I've also written a lot of to-do lists as well as career future related stuff. I can't really go into too much to detail because it's a lot of personal stuff, but I used to write my college like semester courses. I've done a movie review in here about a very long movie review in here about Little Women. Just random things. So this is very small and compact. I can bring it everywhere if I need to, and it also has the little bookmark, or it has 2 bookmarks actually. Next is my content calendar journal. This is a monthly planner that I also got from Daiso in Korea a few years back. It doesn't have any dates written in it, it just has like blank spaces, so this is really nice because I don't reach for it every single day. I should. But in here I just write down some of my filming schedules, what I need to post on YouTube, TikTok, or Instagram. It's really messy in here though, and I've just started using this maybe 2 weeks ago, so I haven't really gotten into a routine for this yet, but I'm very excited to be using it. Then we have my planner. I've been keeping planners for as long as I can remember, in school or out of school. Now that I'm not in school, I still have one. This is the Muji 2026 monthly weekly planner. Monthly weekly planners are my favorite format because I get to see the whole month at once and then plan each day. The thing I love most about Muji planners, or this specific one, is that they have the year at a glance page. So here I can write a summary of how my day went every single day, and then at the end of the year I'll be able to look at my year. And we have obviously the monthly pages. I don't really use it as my work planner, that's what I have my content calendar for. This one is more for personal things, to-do lists, errands, things like keeping track of when I water my plants. I also use this to keep track of birthdays. And these are my stickers of choice. Then we have my Hello Kitty spiral notebook, which I use as my budgeting / expense tracking journal. This is less of a journal creative outlet and more of budgeting, so I don't know if it belongs in this, but I wanted to include it because I do reach for it every day. I keep track of my expenses, income, and my current balance. Can't show you obviously, but that is what I have to keep track of how much I'm spending and saving and earning each month. And I actually do have another journal that I forgot to mention. This big guy is my junk journal. This is a Loic term as well. I don't know which one it is, but it's a hardcover. I got this journal many years ago and I wasn't using it. The first couple pages here have been used as a planner, but then I didn't know what to do with the rest of the pages, so I turned it into a junk journal. These are some random stickers as well. And obviously it was a 2024 planner at first, which is why it has the sticker. I don't really junk journal anymore. It's more of a monthly activity for me when I find the time to sit down and glue everything down. They're not very pretty because I do it solely for keeping track of memories. But in here I'll have like plane tickets, receipts from trips, movie tickets. This is tteokbokki that I had, and a yogurt label. And then we also have just like random things like my SandCloud towel wrapper. Don't even know what this is from. This is from like my RIP per day calendar, but this is very big, and I feel like for a junk journal this is the best one because it has the elastic cord to keep it all in place, and the paper is thick enough so that it won't rip or tear when there's too much weight on it. Now I do have a favorite pen. This is the Muji 0.38mm gel pen with the cap. This is a 10-pack that I got from online, but they look like this, and it just has like, you know, the seal on it. These are my favorite pens to write with because they don't smear and they don't have the weird streaks or gaps when I'm writing with them. I've used so many of these, that's why I have the 10-pack on hand. Before this, I used the Pilot Juice pens in 0.5 or 0.38. Those were good as well, but I feel like this one is just more I don't know how to explain it. I guess because it feels better when I'm writing because the plastic is more smooth. And then other than that, I designate a Le Pen marker slash pen. I actually have no idea what the tip is, but it's a Le Pen, which I would say is just like a colored marker pen type of thing. I designate a color for each month. This is what I write my prompts with, and then I'll check it off with the same color for each month. So that is everything for how I journal. When I journal, I use all of those journals every single day except for, I'd say, the content calendar one and the junk journal. My advice, if I have one thing to say, is just to write whenever you feel like it. The ideas will come naturally. Some people say, oh, I don't know what to write when I sit down and look at the page. I promise, just start with something. When I don't know what to write, but I know I have to write, I'll start with a sentence. I'll say, I don't know what to write, and then write down all the thoughts that come to your head, and I promise you will feel better by the end. I've only been journaling for 4 years, but it's been a very consistent anchor throughout those 4 years, and I would definitely recommend journaling to anyone who, honestly, anybody, whether you're happy, sad, anxious, or not. But I hope you enjoyed this format. This is my first time using this mic, so hopefully it's not horrible because you can kind of hear everything. But I really hope you guys enjoyed this video and stay tuned for the next one.